Okay, in this video we're going to be doing some experiments with URLs. So here is Microsoft Edge opened on a web page. Here's the address bar and this is the URL. So in order to prove to ourselves that it's this piece of information here that enables the browser to find a web page, let's copy this URL into another tab on our browser. So click on the URL, go Control-C to copy it, then open a new tab. Here's the new tab button. Click on that. Go into the address bar on Microsoft Edge and do Control-V to paste what we've just copied into the address bar. Control-V, there's the URL. Press return and see what happens. And there, the same web page has opened. So it's the URL. You put the same URL into the address bar, you get the same web page opened. So it's the URL that enables the browser to find a particular web page. Now let's prove that the two parts of the URL identify different things. Okay, so let's go up into the address bar. Let's copy the URL, Control-C. Oopsie, I haven't got it all there. Control-C. Okay, open a new tab and paste that URL into the tab. But now having pasted it in, now we're going to distort it. We're going to distort the hostname part. Let's go into the hostname and let's type in some meaningless. Okay, now press return and let's see what happens. Now we've distorted the hostname, so let's see what happens. Okay, and we get this error here. Look, this meaningless hostname. There's no server or host corresponding to it. All right, so now let's repeat this, that experiment, but this time, okay, I'm going to paste the URL again into the address bar. This time, instead of altering the host name, I'm going to alter the file name. Here's the file name, the material after the first slash. So let's type in some meaningless stuff in here and let's see what it finds. Okay, this time it's a different error. We get a page not found error. So when we distort the two different parts of the URL, if we distort this part here, we get this error. However, if we distort this part here, we get a different error. We get a page not found error. So there's two parts of the URL. There's this part here, which identifies the host between the two slashes and the first slash. This is the host or server. And the material after the first slash is the web page or file name. Okay, that's that. Okay, so now let's look at the text in the file name part of some URLs to see if we can work out what they might mean. All right, so let me open Microsoft Edge. There's Microsoft Edge. Okay, so I'm going to use the online German dictionary Pons for this experiment. So let me type in Pons.de. There it is. Okay, so here's the Pons online dictionary. All right, and it's set up to translate from German to English, which is handy because I want to. All right, so I'm going to translate the German word Schrank. Okay, S-C-H-R-A-N-K. Okay, I want to look up the word Schrank. All right, and the word Schrank means cupboard. All right, great. Now let's look at the URL. Okay, here's the URL, and notice that the last word in the URL is the word Schrank, the word that we've just looked up. So I'm guessing that the way the URLs for this website work is that the last word in the URL specifies the word to be looked up. All right, so let me test that. Let me do a little experiment. I'm going to change Schrank to another German word, the German word Gehen. And let's see, do we get a translation for Gehen? All right, G-E-H-E-N, press return. Let's see what happens. And okay, and here we have it. We've got the translation for Gehen. So our guess was correct. The last word in the URL does specify the word to be translated. Okay, so now let's extend what we have done. Again, let's look at the URL, but in a bit more detail. Look at this part of the URL, Deutsch-English. Deutsch is German for German, and English is German for English. So I'm guessing that this part of the URL specifies what dictionary we are in. It specifies the fact that we are in the German English dictionary. All right, so say we wanted to get into the Italian English dictionary. I'm guessing that I'd have to change this term here, Deutsch, to Italianisch, which is the German word for Italian. All right, so let me do a little experiment to test that. First of all, let's go up here into the address bar and select this URL. I'm going to copy it into a new tab so that I can do the experiment. All right, so here I'm up on the address bar. I'm going to do Control and A to select the URL, and then I'm going to do Control and C at the same time to copy it. Control and C. Now I'm going to open a new tab. All right, go into the address bar and now paste what we've just copied into the address bar by typing Control and V at the same time. All right, so now I've got that URL copied. Now I want to modify it to get into the Italian English, so I'm going to change Deutsch to Italianisch. All right, Italienisch. That's the German word for Italian, so Italian to English. And say I want to translate the Italian word casa, C-A-S-A. All right, press return and let's see what happens. Now, what do we have down here? Let me scroll down. All right, casa, yes, we're in the Italian English dictionary. And there's the translation for casa. Casa means building or house in Italian. All right, good stuff. Okay, so now let's do some experiments with the read command. All right, as usual, let me copy the URL, go into the address bar, select it with Control A, copy it with Control and C, and then open a new tab, go into the address bar, and paste it with Control and V. Now, I want to force reader mode, so I prepend the URL with the read command, READ, colon. I press return and let's see what happens. All right, so here's the page in reader mode. All right, now, all right, there's the page, but there's no actual translations, okay? Here's the translations in these various little boxes. All right, they're not on the page. All right, but this text here is on the page. All right, so the text that consists of paragraphs does appear in reader mode, but the most useful text on this page, i.e. the translations, the actual tables of translations, don't appear. So reader mode on this page is not very useful. However, reader mode is very useful in many instances, and one of the most notable is on newspapers. So let's just go into a newspaper and do a little demo with reader mode. All right, open a new tab. All right, let me go to the Guardian UK website. Guardian UK, there it is. All right, okay, let me click on this link for the Guardian newspaper website. And here I am on the Guardian. All right, now one thing to notice about online newspapers, the front page is full of headlines, full of pictures, full of headlines. So there's not much text and there's no immersive reader button. All right. But if you click on an article, let's click on this article here. All right. Now, okay, here's the article. All right. Fair bit of text and a fair amount of ads. All right. And the immersive reader button is available. Microsoft's Edge immersive reader button is available, so we can go into reader mode. Let's click on it. And now here's the article, okay, in reader mode. And as you can see, there's no ads, so it's much, much easier to read. So reader mode in many instances is very useful. Okay. Okay, so finally, let's prove that a URL is not the same as a hyperlink. For a URL to become a hyperlink requires that the program displaying the URL can process it in a particular way. The program must indicate to the user that this is a hyperlink and it must be able to open the corresponding web page when the user clicks on the hyperlink. So let's see what happens when we try and put a URL into different programs. So here we are in Microsoft Edge. I'm going to copy the same URL that we've been using up to now, Control C. All right, now I'm going to paste that into Notepad, Notepad. There's the Notepad app. All right, it's opened up. Okay, Control V to paste it into Notepad. And there is our URL. Now if I left click on it, nothing happens. Left click, it's not displayed in any particular manner. It's not displayed in blue and underlined, so it's a strong indicator that that's not a hyperlink. And if I click on it, as I say, nothing happens. Okay, so let me copy that into Word. Okay, I'll select it, Control C. And now let me open Word. There's Word already in the display panel, so I'll just click on that. All right, so I'll open Word in a blank document. All right, and now I'm going to Control V to paste that URL into Word. There's the URL. All right, so now the URL is displayed in a particular manner. It's displayed in blue and underlined, so that's a strong indicator that this is actually now a hyperlink. So, and if I hover over it, I get this hint. Okay, Control and left click to follow the link. Let's see what happens. I'm going to press Control and left click, and look, it's the web page has opened in my browser. So, all right, in Word the URL has become a hyperlink, but in Notepad it's remained as plain text. All right, so there's the difference between URLs and hyperlinks. Okay then.